Welcome to the castle. My name is Alex and I am your player, your GM, your host for Table for One, a podcast where I play through various tabletop role-playing games, solo style. And this is my Metro Otherscape playthrough from the Shadows. In the last session, we had a bit of a side quest, let's just say, even though we rolled very well on the mythic side of things. But hey, things like that happen from time to time, and we did owe a favor to our new character, Lu Wei. With that whole side quest done though, we need to see exactly what he knows. Remember, we're looking for information on Renji, but we're also looking for information on his partner as well. Who knows what we're going to find out. But first, something a little bit different. I do want to go ahead and roll for our expected scene right off the bat. Our current chaos factor is sitting at 3, so we need to roll over a 3 in order to get the expected scene. So it shouldn't be too hard. In fact, we haven't really had a scene interruption yet. I mean, I guess technically you could have considered the last session a scene interruption, but it was kind of something that we ended up going through anyways. So let's roll our d10 and see what we roll. That there is a 10, so we do get the scene as expected. I wasn't really thinking we would get anything less than a 3, but hey, it could have happened. It's like a 30% chance that it could have happened, but it didn't. With that being said, let's go ahead and carry on with our next session. So grab something good to drink, and let's play session 5 of From the Shadows. Information brokers are the unseen operators of Tokyo Megacity's sprawling underworld. They don't hold territory, but they control access. Access to data, history, secrets, and futures. Everyone needs them. Corporations and gangs, mercenaries and politicians, even desperate individuals trying to survive the megacity's crushing weight. At the surface, some pose as consultants or analysts, blending into the city's vast corporate infrastructure. Others work through proxies and burner identities, making their moves in the shadows, never revealing their true face or voice. The best among them are ghosts, untraceable, unreachable, but always watching. He goes by many names and many faces. Lu Wei is just one of his many monikers, and some who have worked closely with him have begun to wonder if he is even the real one. Very few know of the Iron Rat though, an old and forgotten yokai who controls the rats of Tokyo Megacity. What better way to obtain information than from something that was there, hiding in the shadows? Rin is back in Lu Wei's shop, or I guess his office. I'm not really quite sure what you would call an information broker's place of establishment, business. But she's here, and, well, we need to decide what exactly Lu Wei knows. Does he know anything about Renji or this mysterious person that he's hanging around with? And I think that's going to be a question for Mythic. The question is simply, does he know anything about Renji Tanaka? Our chaos factor is 3, but we do need to decide what the odds of our information broker actually knowing something about Renji. And I'm more inclined to just give it a 50-50 shot here. It could go either way. And this is just knowledge right off the bat. Like, what does he know based on, information that he's heard from other sources? So 50-50. With a chaos factor of 3, that's going to be a 25 or less to get a yes. Does he know anything? That is a 27. That was actually really close. But alas, the answer is no. He does not really know anything right now. But that also does not mean he can't find information about Renji. Now, we've already done a favor for Liu Wei, so I don't think it's very feasible that he's going to counter back with a, now you owe me something because I'm going to do this for you. I think what's happening is that we've already established that we've done something for him. We've done him a solid. So now it's time for him to kind of reciprocate and do something for us. And he's going to go ahead and try to obtain information about Renji. But here's what I want to do. I do want to ask a question. I want to ask Liu Wei if he knows who Renji's mysterious partner is. I think that's going to be very important for Rin. She wants to find Renji. She knows that Renji has a partner. And if she can find this partner, then it only makes sense that she would find Renji as well. Our chaos factor is 3. I think that it's very unlikely that he would know right off the bat who this mysterious person is. But hey, 10% is still 10%. So let's roll the dice and see what happens. We have a 46, so no, he does not know who Renji's partner is. Again, he's going to look for information about Renji and this mysterious person, but it's not going to be immediate. A couple hours have passed, and Rin makes her way back to Liu Wei's shop, or place of business, let's just say. It's time to find out what he's managed to find. As Rin steps through the door, that bell overhead rings, and inside we see like a group of rats suddenly perk up and they look towards the door, and their little beady eyes just stare at Rin. They suddenly scurry out of the place, somewhere behind Liu Wei, further into his shop. Rin walks forward. It's time to get the information she's owed. And we're actually going to have a roll here, because Liu Wei would have spent his time searching for information about either Renji or this mysterious figure that Rin has described to him. So we're going to roll 2 dice, 2 different colored Metro Otherscape dice. I think red is going to be for Renji and blue is going to be for our mysterious figure, and whoever gets the highest roll is going to be the one that he's got the information on. If it should be a tie, then I guess that means he's got information about both, right? Right? All right, let's roll and see what happens. A 2 for the mysterious figure, but a 3 for Renji. Okay, so that means Liu Wei has information on Renji and his whereabouts. But what exactly does he tell us? What is Renji doing? And for this, I think we're going to roll on the meanings table, the 2 actions tables that are available to us for this one. And I think we're just going to go ahead and roll them and see what comes out of that. What is Renji doing with this mysterious figure? Our first roll is a 22. And a 22 is conceal. Well, obviously, he's going to conceal something. But what is he concealing? Our second table says a 3. So that is an agreement. He's concealing some sort of an agreement. Ooh, that's a very interesting one. Okay, so that means that he's going to be hiding. Maybe he's meeting some people and he's trying to hide that fact. So now maybe we have more than one partner. Like he's got his partner, the mysterious lady, but now he's got like these other people that he's in contact with. And we need to find out exactly why he's meeting them. Like what's their purpose in this game? I think Liu Wei is going to tell Rin of this meeting and where it is, but at the end of the day, I think that meeting is already happening and we need to go. Now, where exactly is this meeting taking place? And unfortunately, I kind of did a little bit of some behind the scenes rolling on my location oracle table. I ended up rolling a 12, which is an underground cyber clinic. So that's definitely interesting to me. And I'm going to keep that roll because I think we can make something special happen there. For now, Rin is going to leave Lu Wei's shop and, well, she's got to go to this underground cyber clinic. Rin heads to the Hoseki Rose, and in the megacity, this is where nightlife prevails. We have various types of clubs, love hotels, that sort of a thing. But it's also here where we can find illicit drugs and things of that nature. This also houses the underground clinic where Renji's hiding out in. Rin walks down this street as holograms pop up. There's various robots and androids coming up to her, trying to sell her something or get her to walk down to some hotel or what other. She doesn't buy any of that. She's got one mission, and that's to get to Renji and put an end to him. We're also going to kind of switch scenes here a little bit, because we're going to a new area, and this is wildly different than where we were before. I think it's only fitting that we get some new ground here. So let's go ahead and roll to see what our expected scene is going to be. Does she make it to the clinic, or is there some sort of an interruption? Now, based on our rolls in the last scene, and this is just the rolls that we made with Mythic, I'm going to go ahead and raise the chaos factor to 4. We kind of failed on all of those rolls, or we got no answers. So I think that the chaos factor is going to rise a little bit. And so with the chaos factor of 4, we're going to go ahead and roll our d10 and see if we get the expected scene or if we get some sort of an interruption. A 3. So that means we do get some sort of an interruption. And because it's a 3, we get some sort of an alteration to the scene. Let's take a look at that. If your expected scene becomes an altered scene, then the scene begins in the next most expected way, as though Mythic heard your idea and said, let's try something else instead. The altered scene may be nearly identical to the expected scene, except for one detail, or it may be quite different, but it must make sense for it to happen instead of the expected scene. And really what I'm going to cling to here is the one detail, the one minor detail, because before we kind of said that Renji was going to meet with somebody or some people that were probably his partners in this endeavor of whatever he's trying to do. I'm not going to go into the specifics just quite yet because I do have something in my mind, but it's going to hugely impact the story here. Rin makes her way to this clinic. There's no sign or anything like that to indicate that it is such a thing. And actually, I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt right now because, this would be so perfect to have, one of the rats that Lu Wei had just, lead her through this, cityscape. Actually, can we, retroactively go back and do that? Let's do a rewind real quick. All right. So Rin is following this rat thing. This, I don't know, I would imagine that it has a cute little backpack on its back, and it's got red beady eyes, and it's just darting in between people's feet and whatnot as it's just leading Rin through the Hoseki Rose. It stops in front of this nondescript building. There's no signs or anything of that nature to indicate that this is the underground clinic. It just stares at the only door leading in. And Rin kind of knows that this is the place where she needs to go. The rat's going to look up at her, and it's going to expect something. Oh man, what can we give it? We don't really have anything, and I don't really think that there would be any type of rules to say that, well, I guess we could just, I don't know. Well, I don't really think there's anything, so instead she's going to kind of look at it, and she's going to make a promise to the rat, I guess. I promise to give you some food when we next meet or something like that. I guess we should definitely write that down. That's got to be a story tag or something, right? And actually, the best place to write that would be in the adventure journal as one of our threads list. We can definitely make that an important thread later down the line. So let's go ahead and add that. The rat promise. The rat kind of squeaks in dismay, and it just like runs off somewhere. And Rin turns her attention to the clinic. Let's go in and see what there is to be seen. Rin steps on through, and immediately this place has that, clinic smell, antiseptic and stuff like that. It smells very clean, but also there seems to be like a layer of grime everywhere. This place is barely kept up. And in fact, there really isn't anyone here in this lobby. There's nobody sitting in any of the stained chairs. There's nothing here except for the flickering light. And over at the reception desk is this robot. It's definitely seen better days. There's like every once in a while it'll jitter, and it barely looks up at Rin. She cautiously approaches. She doesn't say anything. She waits for the robot to realize that she's there, but it never does. With that signal, Rin goes back towards the back where there's a door, and that will lead her into where the offices of whoever's on call. She opens the door, and she finds children. These young people of all various ages, as young as 4, as old as maybe someone in their 12s or 13 years old. They're just sitting around like some sort of an orphanage. A lot of them have these blank stares. They're just staring off into nothingness. She pauses there for a moment. She doesn't know what to make of this. Is Renji really here? And if so, why? And this is the scene alteration that I've kind of come up with. Renji is not meeting with important people like, I guess, bosses and whatnot. He's here for these children. Kind of puts a different spin on things than you thought, doesn't it? Rin slowly pulls out her enhanced kunai. This has to be some sort of a trick. She cautiously steps forward, steps past these children, and she begins to look for Renji, for this mysterious person, for anything that makes sense here. Rin makes her way to the back of the clinic. This next room is not like a standard examination room. This one is bigger. The examination table is bigger to support all of the various pieces of tech that are sustaining the person laying down on it. It's here that we see Renji standing, just staring down at this figure.
I knew that you would find me eventually. Strange, isn't it? The Shadow Academy, they train us from the time that we are children. They mold us into warriors, killers, assassins. Have you ever thought what life would have been like if they hadn't taken us from our homes?
What are you talking about?
Rin holds her kunai close. Renji doesn't make any attempt to back away. He simply continues to stare down at this person laying on the bed.
Our lives have been stolen from us. We were kidnapped when we were children. The Shadow Academy saw potential in us, and they kidnapped us from our homes.
That is absurd. If the Shadow Academy did something like that, then we would remember.
The Shadow Academy did something to us, something to our memory, so that we would never remember where we came from.
Rin doesn't quite know what to think of that. But I think what we're going to do is have her make some sort of a mitigation roll, because this is heavy stuff that she's hearing, and somewhere deep down inside of her, she kind of believes it. But whether or not she can resolve herself and stick to the plan, that's kind of something else entirely. In terms of tags, what can we actually use? Trained assassin is something I'm going to use here because she's stealing her mind. She's trying to stay focused on the task at hand, which also means I'm going to use trained in ninjutsu. Her ties to the Shadow Academy will also come into play. She's very loyal to the Shadow Academy, so I'm definitely going to use that tag. And of course, because she's not really susceptible to charms and words of trickery, Nobody's Fool will also come into play. So I'm just going to use those 4 power tags here. Unfortunately, she's compromised. There's children all around. So that's going to take off one of our power, making our total power effectively 3. Let's go ahead and roll and see what happens. We have a 1 and a 2 for 3, plus another 3. That's a failure. Uh-oh. That's not good. We're going to give her the Daunted Tier 2 status. This is basically, from the status suggestions, it's Fear. So Tier 1 is Hesitant and Tier 2 is Daunted. And so I think we're going to take a hit as a Tier 2 status. She is now Daunted.
I don't want to fight you here.
She begins to lower her kunai, no longer poised to strike. And I do not want to fight you either, but I know that we must clash blades. Your ties to the Shadow Academy are too strong. A death is inevitable, either yours or mine.
I think at this point, Rin is going to cautiously look around because Renji is here, yes, but his partner is not. And that's what is worrying Rin at the moment. Is she about to be ambushed or anything like that? Well, Renji says he's not about to attack her, but I mean, that doesn't mean the mysterious person won't. To Rin's surprise, though, Renji will finally look up and turn. There's resolve in his eyes, as if he's come to some sort of a decision.
I will not fight you here, but I will fight you somewhere else.
Name the place and we will finish this now.
No, not now. I still have something to do.
You know I can't let you do that. Your death is guaranteed. The Shadow Academy demands it. I cannot let you do anything else in this world.
I do not seek to do anything to anyone. I only want to make sure that my sister and all of these children are taken care of.
Rin looks down at the figure on the bed that is hooked up to some sort of a life support system. She can begin to see the similarities that the two share.
We were both taken when we were young, although she did not fare so well.
How do you know this? How did you come by this information?
And I think this is where our mysterious person is going to come into play or make herself known. It's almost like as if she was invisible and she just appears just like that. Only she doesn't just appear. She's always been there. And it's just now that Rin is beginning to see her right there next to Renji. And she's going to say,
because I made him realize what it was that was taken from him.
Rin grips her kunai a little tighter, even though it is lowered, although she doesn't make any motion to draw it out and fling it at the mysterious woman. I wish to meet with you tomorrow night. We will finish this once and for all. A challenge between you and me. A fight to the death.
Rin takes a quick glance around. If it weren't for these children, she would have already struck Renji down. But she stays her hand. There's nothing that she can do here. At least, so she says. She could overcome that weakness of hers, but something is preventing her from doing so. She reluctantly agrees, and the time and the place is set. Tomorrow night, Renji and Rin will have one final duel to the death.
Check back every other Thursday for a new episode of Table for One, a solo role-playing podcast. If you would like to support this podcast, please rate it or give it a thumbs up wherever you happen to be listening from. If you happen to be watching on YouTube, subscribe and be sure to leave a comment. Music was provided by Tabletop Audio and Artlist, with AI voice work by 11 Labs.